We'll see. If they know me, then they expect that. I'm live. No filing.
Yes.
I was crap.
I think they said that if you're staying, if you did this when you wanted to stay for 1 more, you could just stay. I'm sorry.
No. Not happening. Lunch is not an option here. Unless you're willing to wait an hour.
We can do it.
When there's probably McDonald's down the road. You could just have pizza. Pizza was quicker. Pizza was just
Why we do it?
not while you were here. So, well, I had pizza rolls before.
For individuals entering the panel room, please use both the middle, the left, and the far right sides of the room to move forward and fill every available seat. We thank you for your cooperation. With the exception of the first 5 rows being reserved for VIP packages only.
Thank you, Jesus. Whatever.
Baby Jesus.
I want to know where that was.
He was in the back. No, someday I'll buy my own projector. These ones work?
Yeah, it's just that they're muted.
Oh, I'd mute me too. Yeah.
They should be live.
Room.
Nope. Wrong one.
The second.
Testing. And now what you're doing?
You're doing QR.
Yeah.
We will do something.
Okay, how would you like? Would you like?
Sure.
Okay. Awesome.
For congoers entering the panel room, please utilize the left, middle, and right sides of the room, moving all the way up and fill every available seat. We appreciate your cooperation.
This is going to be one of the coolest ones. Yeah, it's in the song like
I don't know.
Maybe a deeper sensation.
Generally or something. That's who. If we're allowed.
He was nice.
That or you can wait till wherever they're going to come in.
Sir.
Now, Hayden talked more John. Yeah.
Who?
Final first weekend panel, and I got to see for the phone wars. Probably an hour and a half.
You fangirls. Probably. Yeah. That's
Just like looking at it.
As a reminder,
Right.
section will be recorded.
We just want.
The
You can do that.
I get the one on the back.
We get priority.
I don't think they have any electronics this year. Oh well. I'll make it.
By the way, I can see the ring. Kind of ask me a question.
attendees, after the conclusion of the final first panel, please remain seated.
All right. Awesome. Thank you very much.
I'll be right over here.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Welcome.
Hi.
Responsive crowd. I like that.
Excited.
Welcome to the Star Wars Costuming Group's panel discussion here. We're going to quickly kind of go over what our groups are, the kind of things we do, and how to request us. And then we're just going to kind of open up things to questions for all you guys. So if you have questions about how to either get us to show up at events or for how to join us and be awesome with us, we're going to give you that information. So first off, what we'll do is we'll just kind of introduce who's up here. My name's Jeremy Avey. I am the XO, or Vice President, I guess you could say, of the Alabama Garrison here, of the 501st Legion. I am also a Rebel Legion member, and you will find that kind of costuming is like that. You join several groups. You find some nice costume you like in another group, you join that one, and then you stay bankrupt that way.
Cosplaying is a very expensive hobby if you didn't know already.
I'm Jenny Riddle. I'm the base membership officer for Tranquility Base, which is our Alabama Rebel Legion area. And I'm also a recent member of the 501st.
My name is Matthew Boardman, and I am the vice president, as you would say, for the Mandalorian Mercs Costume Club for the Alabama chapter, Harnovar Clan.
All
And
right.
I am not part of the 501st.
Yes.
Yes.
So we're just going to kind of go over what group, what costume, what type of individuals fall into what group. So first, for the 501st, and I pre-apologize, they used to have like graphic ability. So I have all these amazing, awesome pictures. But you can't see them, but if you come up after, I'll show you all the great things. But first thing, Alabama Garrison of the 501st Legion. So what is the 501st Legion? The 501st Legion, from a certain point of view, depending on who you are, they're considered what people say the bad guys of the Star Wars universe.
Who says that?
I
Rebels
say
says
that. But they're pretty much the on-screen individuals you see that are considered the bad guys. So we have a slogan for Vader's Fist. We were first founded in 1997. We were the first of these costumes that was created. Our costumes include things like clone troopers, which can be both rebel and 501st, depending on what actions they took. They changed sides on Order 66 and all that. We have Empire era soldiers, First Order era soldiers, on-screen bounty hunters, expanded universe, and current canon Sith.
Clone commander standing in the back, down the hallway.
So from the other point of view, that's from life. We're the good guys of Star Wars, and a lot of times our characters will be what we call face characters, and a lot of times be the Luke, Leia, Han. But we do also have some like generic Jedi and pilots. We also have clone troopers, Tusken Raiders, all those kind of things. A lot of, other than the clones, most of our costumes from us we can sit down in, which is why I can still wear one. And he can't. So I say that they're more comfortable. You can move around in them. But a lot of times just those soft characters that you see in fabrics. But we do have some armor. And like in the pilots, have their helmets that can be customized to a certain degree. So we do have some customizable features in the Rebel Legion that the 501st doesn't have. My Jedi that I'm wearing is mine. It's not going to find that anywhere else. And so that's kind of a fun aspect of the Rebel Legion.
All right. So again, the Harnovar clan of the Mandalorian Mercs. We are bounty hunters and the warriors of Mandalore. Our Star Wars Galaxies MMORPG, the Mercs, allow new recruits, and we have a lot more freedom, kind of like in Rebel Legion. When building the kits, we do have screen accurate on-screen characters as well that can be dual 501st, Rebel Legion, and Mandalorian Mercs. But you can also create your own Mandalorian, build your own backstory. Where was your Mandalorian? How did you take the creed? Are you like Din Djarin, or are you more like Bo-Katan and things like that? And so we're warriors, we're bounty hunters. And so ours is a little bit more, we still have guidelines that we have to uphold to be an official member. The accuracy of where the plates are and things like that. But as far as colors, paint, things like that, completely up to you unless you're doing this on-screen character.
Another group that we have here in Alabama is what's called the Droid Builders. So we see the Sweet Chopper out there, the Mouse Droid, things like that. Those are the Droid Builders. They're kind of their own club too, but we all play nice here in Alabama, and we love showing up at events with all of these characters because our goal is to bring Star Wars to life at whatever event we're at. Anywhere you see us, we want you to see Star Wars. We want you to just take into that universe at that time. So, what do we do? What kind of events do we do? Well, the biggest things I like to say that we do is we focus on two things. We focus on charities, we focus on community events. So, when we get requests for any kind of a charity event, we go through it, make sure it's one we can do. We look at the charity and everything, and if we can get people out there, we will get people out there. We do things all throughout Alabama, and we're also, all of us are worldwide organizations. So if you live in wherever, when you submit your application for an event, it will go to whatever group is in that area. And we do these charity events and we do these community events because we want to give back to the area. We want to do good things for our areas because we want things like the Expo to take off, and it's been amazing. How many of you guys were here at the very first Expo? Remember that JC's building we were in? It wouldn't fit like a quarter of the people out here and everything. It's just amazing how much it's grown. And I've been here ever since there, and we've been at this event ever since there. It's just awesome to see that growing. So, one thing I want to talk about is some super awesome things that we've done as groups. So, from my perspective for the 501st, an amazing event that we had happen was the 2007 Rose Bowl Parade. George Lucas was like, I need some stormtroopers. I'm head marshal of the Rose Bowl Parade. What do? You got 501st members from across the world marching in there. And that is some of the amazing opportunities that people have had. These stormtroopers were allowed to have representation of their garrison flags as they trooped and everything. And I mean, I would love it if I could be at the Rose Bowl Parade in a stormtrooper costume marching down there.
During COVID, when we were not allowed to troop very much, it still did not damper our desire to help charities, to raise funds, to let people know things are there, just to do good with their costumes. I think that's how most people get in. Costuming is really fun, and I have some that are just for fun, but I wanted to do something good with my costumes. What can I do for good? And so even during COVID, like the Rebel Legion did a couple things called Rebel Fun Strikes Back. It was like online fundraisers for UNICEF, and it was like a 24-hour live streaming thing they would do just specifically to raise money. And in 2020, in the midst of COVID, they raised over $15,000 just in 24 hours. And in 2021, it was over $16,000. And so even during pandemics, when we were dying because we couldn't get out on troop, we were still able to be part of charity organizations and using Star Wars costuming for good by doing things like that. Yeah, even Ashley Sane was there. She was one of the guests, and Paul Lee he's one of the pilot, Carson Tuca in the Mandalorian. He was also a guest at that time, even before he was or really well-known names. And he's also a 501st member. And so that's actually, I think before he even got to that. So it's really kind of neat to see.
Yeah, mention that.
So one of our events, when we were at, I believe this was at Magic City Con, we got word through social media that Peter Mayhew's daughter was at our con, attending Magic City Con. So what did we do? We arrested her and put her in jail. And when Mayhew found out, he put a tweet out asking the Rebel Legion to come save his daughter and get her out of jail.
Because we're the good guys.
Yeah, because we're the good guys, right? We're just about money. So. But with all jokes aside, I got into this club because I wanted to do good and to work with charity. And here recently, Make-A-Wish sent a young gentleman to Florida to go to Disney World, and at his launch party here in Huntsville, he loved Mandalorians. So Disney reached out to us. Within 24 hours, we had 6 people in kit there, and we made his day. I'm trying not to get emotional because this is what I do. This is why I do what I do, right? This is why I want to bring Star Wars to life. I'm part-time in North Carolina and in Alabama, and I will go to St. Jude's in Kidder and walk the halls with kids that are dying of cancer. The child said, "Mom, I'm sorry that I have cancer."
Oh no.
And but he was so excited to have someone to see people and bring Star Wars to life. And that's what all of us, we just want to bring Star Wars to life and have people enjoy that.
So the next thing, kind of talk. Oh, I forgot what other. Because 501st, just like this, I mentioned one other thing we did.
Yep.
So to tell you my story, I started off in Southern California I joined the 501st in Southern California. I moved there not knowing that 3 years after I moved, there's going to be this show called The Mandalorian, and they were going to use some of my former Garrison's members on the show. So I have a few friends back at my old Garrison that were able to actually be on The Mandalorian. If you remember that scene where they had all the stormtroopers had them all cornered in there and everything. That was a bunch of 501st members that they got in for there and everything. So,
And I would say they were able to use 501st members because of the costume standards that we have.
right.
We love seeing whatever Star Wars costumes are out there. It's fantastic. Our goal is to make you feel like you walked into a movie, or that you could walk onto a movie set and you would know the difference. And so there are costuming changes for that, but it's just kind of, we want to create this world where people who come into it feel like they're in Star Wars. When somebody was doing Black Trooper this morning, a little boy got finished and yelled to his mom, "Star Wars is real," and then ran off and was awesome. And that's what we want to do. That's our goal.
And does anybody know an artist by the name of Weird Al Yankovic? Whenever he comes to town, wherever he's going, he contacts 501st in that area to come on stage with him a lot of times. I know that happened in Huntsville as well. And so he contacts stormtroopers in the 501st here in Alabama. They show up and they go on stage and they perform with them and everything else. So that's kind of cool.
So one of the things we do is community events. So I'm going to have each one up here. We'll ignore what's here and just kind of mention some of our, or at least one of our favorite community events. I'm a sports person, so I love it when the Trash Pandas, when the Havoc. I'm from Huntsville, and then I'm up in Huntsville where I live. So when those teams contact us and say, "Hey, we're having Star Wars night," I love it because the fans are so excited. We literally, at the Havoc, we need crowd control. Because if you've been to Star Wars night at the Havoc games, it's like they come up the stairs and we're right there. And people are just running up there excited because it's like, oh my goodness, it's like more Star Wars. Like their kids are in Star Wars costumes and they see us and they're running to us and we need to, hey, no, get in line, and everything like that. Otherwise, we'll have like 5 families taking pictures of all their kids at the same time crowded around us. It's just an amazing thing to just see that excitement as they come up on top of those steps and they're like, wow, us right there.
Because of personal history with my son, who's been in Children's of Alabama multiple times, one of the reasons I joined was because we were able to visit and be a part of, like he said, at St. Jude's. Children's doesn't allow us to walk through the halls as much right now, and we haven't been back since COVID, but we're starting to get some hints that we may be able to go back and see. But we always say that. A lot of times when they see us, it's the first time they smiled in a long time. Parents and kids. As a parent of a child who's in the hospital, I can tell you it means a lot when your child comments smile. But one time we were visiting and a teenage girl walked up and she was talking to us and her mom looked at her and said, I'm so thankful. This is the first time I've seen you smile in a month. And Roger was standing beside me wearing that Jedi costume. I was in a ray, and we were lucky, maybe the only two without buckets or helmets on our helmets. And we were like, man, I wish I had one now. We were about to lose it. So that was just personally, it's very meaningful to me. So the hospital visits are something that I cherish being able to do.
So non-charity, my favorite events to go to are when a new Star Wars movie comes out. We'll go to different theaters, get up, and let families come take pictures with us. And again, it's all about bringing Star Wars to life. I'm watching something on a big screen. I walk out and there are stormtroopers, there are Mandalorians, there are TIE pilots, there are droids in the theater lobby that I can see. So as far as community events go, that's what I really enjoy doing. But again, I'm all about the charity and raising money.
So that'll get us to the charities. So we do some charity events. Hopefully you guys have already noticed what we're doing. For the 501st, we do this thing called Blast the Trooper. Did anyone shoot me today?
I shot you.
I was in the Scout Trooper
Oh, I shot you.
and everything. Yeah. Thank you for shooting me. So what we do is for any donation you have, if you a couple bucks, you want to drop 20, we're happy with that. More, we'll take whatever you'll give. All of our donations right now are going to Kids to Love. It's our charity that we're doing right now. But we give you a Nerf gun. You aim that Nerf gun at the other guy, not me, and you shoot them. And you don't shoot me.
I shoot you.
And stuff. But no, it's a great event, and you see kids smiling. You see their parents want to do it after the kids and everything like that. So
The adults have the most fun. So if you haven't done it, we're doing it again tomorrow morning.
Oh, I'll be there.
well, yes, we'll do it tomorrow from 10 to noon. No, I'm sorry, 11 to 1 because we're not open at 10. 11 to 1. So if you get a chance, swing by our table and give us a donation and shoot the other guy, not me, not the Scotch. And what you've been up to?
Yeah, so the Mandalorian Mercs, like I said, we do something really fun for charity events called the Jail and Mail. So what we do is you come up and you say, I want to place a bounty on someone at the con, whether it be friends, family members, things like that, right? And we will go out. We will send a Mandalorian out to bounty hunt that particular person. We will bring them back to the jail cell, put them in the jail cell, let you take some pictures. It's $1 a minute, but the person can also bail himself out, or herself, or themselves out by matching your bounty, and we'll let you out. Again, Kids for Love charity. When it comes to something like this, we don't want to ruin someone's con experience, so we have some rules. If the person you'd like to place a bounty on is in line for autographs, in line for a panel, or is inside a panel, we're not going to pull them out, right? But if you're walking around the vendor hall, you're fair game. And we are good at what we do.
Brad puts a bounty
This
on.
is the way.
Brad puts a bounty on
So, speaking of Kids to Love, a few years ago, they still do it over the edge. They invited us to come, which is where people pay to rappel down large buildings. And they said, is there anyone from your group that would like to go down? We would like to have somebody. And I was like, yes. I would like to rappel down as Ray from the Regis building. So I did, and it was amazing. And just being able to be a part of the charity who does such amazing work and also get to do really cool stuff to help them do that. It's great.
Yeah, any event that's charity oriented, we try to do. So when you look at things like the Buds Walk, bringing up down Scissor Walk, they like to have us out there. We'll get up in our costume. Some of us, it's a little bit easier for them to do the walk. Some of us will just stand by the start line and wait for them to get back and everything. But it's a great opportunity for kids to get pictures with us, to kind of bring Star Wars to life at that event. So anytime you need charity events that you might have or you might know of and everything, send out the invite. We'll try to figure out how to do it. Obviously, if it's a Tuesday morning at 8 a.m., most of us have jobs that we work and everything. That's always hard because schools will sometimes contact us for this or that event. Oh, we're busy at that time. But we'll try to see who can do it, and sometimes you can get a couple of individuals out there. Sometimes if it's a bigger event, we can get a lot of us out there. But we love doing all these charity events and stuff like that. So now that we've hyped us up, all these awesome things we do. I know you're all sitting there, well, how do I contact them? How do I get you guys at these events and everything? For us, it's for 501st, it's easiest because you just go to basically 501st.com and you will fill out, you'll find a little, or you can go to 501st.com /request.php or just go to 501st.com and then find it there. And it'll have basically a little questionnaire for you. It'll be what day is the event, where's the event, can we bring blasters, or would you prefer us not to bring blasters? Will there be a changing room? And a few things like that, just to kind of give us an idea, because as soon as it comes to me, I'm going to probably send you a message for further information, because I want to know exactly what's going on, what the event's going to be like. You know, is this going to be in July outside? Our armor gets a little hot. You might not have that many stormtroopers at the event. Or is it going to be in the middle of winter? I'm from Michigan, so I don't consider winter here that much of a problem. But things like that. So I mean, I'll try to figure out some information from the individual and contact them and get the ball rolling on getting us there.
Yeah, Rebel Legion website is rebellegion.com, and you can find the event requests from the homepage.
So for the Mandalorian Mercs, it's the same kind of thing, but we have to request an invasion, what we call an invasion, where we're going to invade your party. Not really, but again, same kind of questions. We need to know. The simple questionnaire will be: is there going to be a changing area? Are we allowed to bring our weapons, our prop weapons? When is it? What are the times? How many people are going to be there? Just so we know. And again, once that questionnaire gets done and you send it to the address, the area that you're wanting the event in. So, like again, if it's Alabama, it'll come to us, the Hanover clan. If it's in some place in like North Carolina, it'll go to Callan clan or that area's representatives, right? And then they'll be the one to contact you and be like, hey, let's get some more information. Let's plan this out. How did you find us? What are we going to do? Stuff like that. So, so that's how you request an invasion from us.
What was that for a second?
The MandalorianMercs.com. Or you guys
.org,
yeah. So it's MandalorianMercs.org.
And one thing I want to say is, in Alabama, we play nice. If you send an invite to the 501st, we share our boards with Rebel Legion, and I typically try to contact someone from the Mercs to let them know, like, hey, this is an event that's coming through. Because I'll typically ask the people that make the request, hey, are you just looking for the bad guys, or do you mind if we bring more Star Wars in? And they're typically like, bring more Star Wars in. And everything. They're like, bring all the Star Wars you can, and stuff like that. So you don't have to contact each of our groups. You can contact one of the groups, and we will try to get the message out to everyone else. And we will try to get what we can get out there to make your event Star Wars as much as possible. So that is basically what we do, why we do it, all those fun things. If you have any other questions about or need a card, we have cards at our tables that have information and stuff like that. What we want to do now is open up questions that individuals have. If you have questions about joining, if you have questions about events, things like that. So I believe there's an individual with microphones.
All right, so raise your hand.
Go ahead.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, you can.
Hi, my name is Kate. Just quick, I have two questions. I got a good question, kind of a big question.
Are they quick?
Yes.
Okay, that was the one question. Can I ask you?
Have you ever met any actual Star Wars cast actors?
Have I ever met any actual Star Wars cast actors? Yes.
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 A lot. I mean, we've met Peter Mayhew at DragonCon and hung out with him, had beers with him. So I mean, it depends on what the event is, who's all there, who all wants to hang out and stuff like that. So I mean, it really just depends.
Yesterday, James Earl Taylor came out of Highland First Stadium just to say hi, because they know about us, and so they just wanted to say hi. And we were like, oh, it's so beautiful.
So one of the things that we do, because there are people that said that they were members, right? And so we'll do honorary members. So we go through a process where we make them an honorary member of the costume club if they've done something Star Warsy. So we've met several different things like that.
We also dragged on, we met with Timothy Thumb.
No way.
We got pictures with it. It was great.
I
Yeah.
gave him a patch for our years, and it was really neat.
Now, one of my favorite things, and this is odd because she wasn't in Star Wars yet, but I was with Robo. Oh, you're back there. We were walking around in some stormtrooper costumes at a convention in Atlanta, and Ming-Na Wan, who wasn't in Star Wars yet, saw us and was like, I want a picture with them. And then like 2 years later, she's in Star Wars. So before she even made it into Star Wars, I met her. So that was pretty awesome. And at Dragon Con, I met a few other people there and stuff like that. So we get some cool opportunities. Okay, who has the next
Next
question?
mic.
What is the Mandalorian armor typically made out of?
Great question. We use in the Alabama plan here, we use Sintra, which is a type of plastic that is able to be warmed up, heated up, and moved and molded. We use a lot of 3D printed parts as well, whether it be gauntlets, stuff like that. I built my helmet out of a skateboard helmet and some other stuff because I have a very large head. So the files couldn't fit. No, none of the files fit for my particular type of helmet. So resin casted helmets in North Carolina, a lot of them are metal forged armor. That's a lot of intensive work and a lot of materials, but it is doable. But that's what we use.
All right.
Good microphone person.
I'll repeat the question.
Hi. So all of you probably have your own favorite Star Wars movie. Which one would that be?
Empire Strikes Back.
Of course.
Rogue One.
I don't know how to answer this question.
Say
You named a Star Wars movie.
You can say all of them. I don't love all of them. I like all of them. But my favorite character is Obi-Wan, so I'll give you that.
Thank you.
Sweet.
Next question.
I have a question, reading a question from a lady here who says, I've always wanted to join the Fatherverse as a Java or Tusken Raider, but I'm nonverbal. Would that inhibit my chances of joining?
Negative. You could join as either of those costumes. A lot of people actually use little like soundtracks to make noises and everything. As long as the goal is to look like that character. If you can make the costume that standards and everything to look the character, that is the goal. And then you just interact and have fun, which I'm sure you can easily do.
But there's no discrimination in any of the clubs based on
Absolutely.
based on ability. So we have people in wheelchairs, people missing limbs, people, not like they're not going to hold that against us.
No. The only thing you have to have screen accurate. You have to follow the guidelines in the application. What you look like, what your orientation is, what you identify as is no bearing on.
The basic three things you need to be 18 years of age, that's just legal reasons. You have to have a Star Wars screen accurate costume, by our standards or by the club standards that you're going for. And you need to troop or do your census basically once a year, unless some crazy virus comes around and knocks everything out. What's the chance of that happening?
Yeah, again.
Probably not.
Yes.
What was the strangest event or strangest thing that happened at one of your events?
There's kids here.
Yeah. For legal reasons and the statute, cannot interact with it.
Wait, just write it down on a piece of paper. I'll read it.
The strangest thing that I can talk
I got my Scout Trooper armor approved last May. The first time I wore it was at a con in Birmingham that was adjacent to where the USFL football players were lodging. And so they wandered into the con. And I had worn my armor for the first time for about an hour when one man, who is literally about 5 times my size, decided he wanted to bear hug the stormtroopers. And it broke my arm. It is repaired. I wore it yesterday, but don't touch it. Be gentle.
You just said don't touch people.
It's expensive artwork.
So if you come up to me to a hug or try to put your arm around me, there's a little trauma there. Back away.
Do you have a memorable memory, like one that just a very memorable one that you remember?
I mean, Peter Mayhew's daughter was a real memorable bounty. For myself, at Magic City Con, I arrested Darby Allin from AEW. That was fun because his brother or his handler or someone was like, "We're going to do this, and I'm going to try and tackle you. We're going to make this whole big scene," and he didn't know about all that stuff, so he was like freaking out, like, "Why is my brother attacking one of the guys in costumes? Like, what is going on?" And then we slapped the cuffs on him and walked him back to the jail cell. So Darby Allin was my favorite bounty hunter.
Yes, young lady right there.
Microphone.
Or I'll repeat the question.
Oh.
Fire control safety.
Hello.
Hi.
My name is Isley. What costumes do you guys typically prefer to wear? Like, what is your favorite costume?
So,
Go ahead.
I have my very first costume was Ray, and so it means like emotionally a lot to me, but because it's COVID, I can't exactly move around in it much anymore. Because that's how grown it is. So. But I also have 2 Leias, and I have my Jedi and my Scout Trooper. And I thought that Leia is really one of my favorites to wear because of the interactions that I get to have specifically with little girls. So it just makes it like, it's just really super sweet to be able to interact with them. I thought I wouldn't be able to do that in a helmet in my Scout, but I'm learning that I can have really great interactions in that too. And you don't have to smile for pictures when you have a helmet.
You still smile, it's automatic.
You do, yeah.
And then you realize, I have a helmet.
I know. It's the pictures, you're loving every minute of it, and so my face is sort of smiling even though I didn't have to. So my Leia costumes are probably my favorite today still, but I'm really quickly growing on that scale.
I have a Rebel Fleet Trooper, which I was in yesterday. I have a Scout Trooper, which I was in today. I have an Imperial Officer and an Imperial Armored Cavalry Commander costume, which right there. I have one of those. My favorite, I would say, is my Scout, and the evolution is that you still smile in pictures, but then after a while you evolve to really bad jokes of, "Oops, hey, you're gonna take that picture again, I blinked, I'm really sorry."
So I only have one Star Wars cosplay, but I have another Disney cosplay. that I did at Conuga, which is Barbie Lightfoot from the movie Onward. And so that's my favorite Disney one, but I am working on other Star Wars ones as well. So right now I just have the Mandalorian and Star Wars, and I keep adding stuff onto it. Like I just built a sniper rifle for it, so it's a very large sniper rifle, and it's not good for wandering around. It's mostly for just pictures and events and stuff like that, and not for cons. But yeah, that's what I enjoy modifying my Mando and adding more weapons because
Weapons is my religion.
Did we have a question over there? Yeah.
Yes, my name is Scott. And have you ever had a mishap where you dropped something, broken something, and you did have a sense
All the time.
There's some costumes that can't really bend over, like stormtroopers. So if they drop anything, they are at the mercy of a handler or someone in more cloth costumes. So handlers are our lifesavers because we have people in plain clothes or in costumes that's more fabric that lets us know that, hey, Darth Vader, there's a kid in front of you, because you might not believe it, but not all of our costumes have great visual. We can't see through things. And stormtroopers, if that stormtrooper there drops something, they're not picking it up. I have fortunately not broken anything I've dropped, and I hope that continues.
It's not a term until something breaks.
I literally had to repair my kit Friday and fix it at the house where I'm staying at Friday night because I thought everything was working and it wasn't. So depending on what it is, it's an easy fix. It doesn't cost that much. If it's a prop or something that you 3D printed and it took 20 hours to print, 10 hours of sand and Bondo and paint and everything else, and then you drop it and break it, you're not fixing that. It's just not going to happen. You're just going to start over and do it again.
Yeah, the only time I've broken anything is when I got rid of so far. But it would depend on what piece it was, where it came from. If it's a piece of, like a 3D printed piece, and you're going to have to completely redo that, that's one thing. If it's, there's some armor, like there's some one of the Scout armor vendors sell replacement parts. So if you just broke, your shoulder belt or something, you would be able to just order those pieces. It really depends on what it is that you broke and how you got it. Now, if you just ripped some, fabric, easier fix.
You have a question there?
Thank you for taking my question. Who is your favorite live action Star Wars character you've met, and what was your experience?
That I've met?
Yeah.
Be careful with that.
Yeah,
I think there's been
You can tell multiple stories, that's
Three
fine.
fingers. It took you to the.
I mean, I haven't live action ones. Peter Mayhew. I mean, that was pretty memorable. David Prowse. I did meet him at Dragon Con. So that's probably it for me.
Okay. I don't think I've met any live action.
Yeah, I haven't personally met live action ones, but I think it would be really cool if I was part of Hofer's and Weird Al called and said, I want 501 members up on stage while I sing Yoda. That would be pretty awesome.
Yeah, right here.
Do you have resources for the vendors, for costumes on the website?
She asked if we had resources for vendors. And yes, not all of them on our specific websites for like 501st and Revolution. But what you always get in touch with us if you want to, if we can help point you in the right direction. But one of the best places to start are the detachments for the costume that you want to make. If it says Jedi, you're going to be in the Knights of the Jedi Order. On the Revolution side, if it's a Scout, you're going to be in Pathfinders. And we have lists of detachments back at our table. But you can also just kind of, if you don't want to, like, if you just want to look around, you can find them on the 501st or Revolution side. But those are going to have the best resources for vendors that they like, vendors that people have problems with. But never, ever, ever buy anything that you want to get approved with without checking first. Ever.
Yeah, so when you go, and you do not have to be a member to be on the detachments. You can sign up as a guest account. You can't see everything on that page, but you can see two key things. Vendors, and you can see works in progress. Because I always say, unless that costume was on last week's episode of whatever the show is that's currently on, that costume has most likely been done. And unless you are really determined to reinvent the wheel, that costume's been done before. So you can look at work in progresses, you can see, like, if you're really tall, what do taller people say about that costume? If you're not that tall, if you're really short, who makes smaller armor or costume parts like that? Because that's going to matter. The costume has to look right on you. If you buy, I could sell my used Scout, and if you're much taller than me, you're going to look funny in my armor. And it's not going to work out for you, because it has to look good for you. Yes?
Hey, I have a question. You were talking about doing the mountains for jury work. Are you guys still doing that today? Because that's a really fun idea.
I need to interrupt a quick second. If we could have our two Jedi's come to the back, we'd appreciate it.
What was the question again? I'm sorry. Are we still doing? Yeah. So we will be doing bounties again at 4 until the end of it. I'll be finishing up myself. So just come by the booth, and if you, I will be running bounties, and we'll see how we run more tomatoes we have. But that's my plan. Yes.
Thank you. Yep. Any other questions?
How do you fit your beard in your?
So there are two guys, myself and another guy here that has very large beards. His sticks out underneath his helmet. I tuck mine under in my. I have like a little ski mask type thing. I stick mine down in there. So,
any question right there? Yeah. Hey.
For your makers that are kind of getting into this, what would be some advice for working around more difficult problems and trying to stay motivated through the process?
So for people who are making their first costume, how to stay motivated and not throw it in the tendency river? I always say, especially for your first costume, do a costume you really love. Because you're going to be your own worst enemy at times. You're going to look at that costume. It is amazing that you can see something that you know is slightly off, and except for maybe a couple other members, no one's going to notice these things. But you know exactly where to look, where this little tiny thing is wrong, and it isn't going to bug you. So I always say, try to find a costume that you really love, because that's going to keep you working on it. And find some great, helpful people who can help you out when you're stuck in a certain problem, or that can just motivate you and give you honest feedback of how good your costume's coming. Because a lot of times we're our own worst critics.
Appreciate it. Yeah. So for 911 we have what we call armor parties. So several people will come over to one person's house or a shop that we have set up at someone's house, and all of them will work on armor together. So doing something instead of by yourself with a group of people, right? As far as self-motivation goes, again, pick something that you like, that you absolutely love. But like for me, I remember why I'm doing this, and that is to make kids smile.
And I would also say for the armor parties, Private First has those too. And it's really great if you don't know what, like if this is your first costume and you have no idea what you're doing and You just bought some armor that's been stylized, but you need to shave it and cut it to fit your body. And you're like, wow, I've just spent maybe $1,000 and now I need to cut this armor. You might be a little bit scared. You might not have the right tools for it, and you might panic. So it's always great to go to an armor party to see individuals who have done this several times before, who have the right tools, and who can, I always say, have them teach you. Don't just let them do it for you, because if we do it for you, we just made you spend $1,000. If we teach you how to make costume stuff, we've made you bankrupt for life. Yeah. Are we set?
This is gonna be the last one. How about everything, Mike? When, as far as any of your characters or any other customers, are you allowed to do alien characters? Lots of robes and, obviously lots of robes and lots of armor, but does anyone do alien characters?
Yes, simple answer, yes. So you can do characters of like Admiral Akbar. I assume that. Yes, you can do those characters as long as they're screen accurate. Now, some of them might not be very comfortable. More power to you if you want to do that and everything like that. But yeah, basically for the 501st and Rebel Legion, if they're on screen, you can do it. Now, some of them aren't practical. So if you would say, I want to be a B1 battle droid, the best way to do that is that, like our stationary battle droid we have there, you're not a person going to dress up as IG-88 or IG, any of those type things.
Good. For us, yeah, we wear a lot of helmets. So you can be an alien underneath there as long as the helmet fits. And again, how the helmet fits when doing the application process. You may have to shorten, like if you're doing a Twi'lek, you might have to have shorter tails to make sure it fits under the helmet. It will take longer to get kitted up, right? Because like when I did my Barley Lightfoot, it took me about an hour to get all my makeup on, right? And so if you're doing aliens that have a lot of face makeup and things like that, it'll take longer to get kitted up. But yeah, it's not a problem.
Well, thank you, everyone. Again, we'll have Blast Trooper going on tomorrow from 11 to 1. Jail and Bail will be going on throughout the con, too. And our tables, if you haven't already been there, our tables are in the back, the left corner back there. Please come by, say hi. And if you have questions or any other information you want to know, please come by and ask, because we're very friendly and we want great members.
Thank you very much for attending. As promised, we are now going to maintain the panel room for the Star Wars Clone Wars panel. Who's excited about that? Additionally, that being said, if you do have any VIP tickets and someone in the room is not VIP, we will actually ask them to vacate it to the back of the room in general permission. You have a few VIPs sitting inside. Additionally, if you're not interested in staying for the Star Wars Clone Wars panel, please exit through the burgundy colored doors with the exit pocket signs close to the top. Please do not go through the way that you came in. That is not the way.
Trader!
Soda bounce.
Really? Yeah. This is nice. Absolutely. Black. I find black. I really like these are the shoes. I didn't know what to do.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Come behind you.
We can't do it unless we are approached by the individual. In that case.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
My sister paid.
I don't think so. There's a lot of different dollars. But there's certain vendors. Yeah. Well, like a lot of them are handmade stuff. The guy over here on the end, he'd be the one to ask about the 501st stuff. Or him. He might be him.
Oh, well, maybe. It depends on the question. Depends on the question.
Does everything? Does the stuff have to be handmade?
No.
Like I know 501st you can buy vacuum form stuff and.
You can buy kits, especially it depends on which costume you're doing. You can buy kits. There are several different.
We're not doing any bounties, so. I believe Matt's going out there though.
He will be.
Okay. Yeah, he's going out to at least get a drink.
There are others. There's one right back there. Mine's down to here.
Oh, is yours just the original character, or is there a specific design?
If you would please move forward to any available seats and any of the rows. Thank you kindly for your cooperation. As stated before, if there are seats in front of you, you have one last chance to get to a better position before the board is allotted. Please be aware that the first 5 rows are reserved for individuals.
I know it's not
You have another mic? You have one more? Or no? Testing. Oh no.
So basically we have two individuals. Now you gotta refocus.
You guys.
Hello? How's everybody doing? I don't want to be behind the table, so you have to but let's see, you guys have brought the heat in here, boy, I tell you.
It's hot.
It's very, very hot. It's very, very hot. Typically, I don't really need a mic.
Because you typically hear my voice. I'm pretty loud, anyways.
But listen, so they'll be here in a few minutes. We have about 5 minutes left, so I pretty much go through the process with you guys so everybody's on the same page. So nobody's actually, everybody can make sure we get everybody taken care of. Now, so what I'm going to do is we're probably going to spend about 10, 15 minutes. We're going to have some fun up here, have a conversation, talk about their experiences, what they have going on. After that, I'm going to give you guys 30 minutes to ask you questions because it's a lot of you, which I love it, actually. So, but I know a lot of you have questions, right? Yeah? And so I love questions, and I'm not trying to be mean, but because there's so many people in here, and it's 30 minutes, kind of make it, one question per person type thing, so we get questions answered as quick as possible. You guys cool with that? Yeah? You guys cool with that? Yeah. You guys cool with that? So I appreciate you guys so much. Lastly, so 2 more things. One, once the panel is over, people need to please actually exit to your right. We're going to try to get this in the 45-minute time frame to go over. Then great. At some point, we might go over to our class like, hey, maybe wrap it around, make sure people ask you questions, so it's kind of actually get that way too as well. I think that's about it. Oh, no, it's not. The second thing is I need you guys to get super loud, okay? When I introduce them to the homeowners panel. So, I need you to stand up, clap, whatever. If you can't stand up, don't stand up, but I need you guys to clap your hands and be super duper loud. So you guys do that? Yeah! I get the test right now. Clap your hands. right here. But thank you, I appreciate that. So we'll get this thing started in about 3 minutes, okay? Yes, it actually does actually be live streamed to Huntsville Pop Culture's Expo as well, the Facebook page. But my name is Glenn. I'm with the Clean Earth Authority. We have conversations like this all the time. But you can check out our YouTube channel too, as well as the stream on there too. So thank you guys. I really, really appreciate you. And let's have some fun, right?
I think everyone's too young to get the reference.